Okay, so this is another method for factoring, and it's called trinomial squares. Trinomial because there's 1, 2, 3 terms, and squares because the first term and the last term are perfect squares, which means they have square roots. Before we jump into our parentheses, we have to run this little check when we're dealing with trinomial squares. And what that is, we're going to take the square root of the first term, which is x, because x times x is x squared, so that square root is x. Square root of this last term, which is 6, multiply them together, that gives us 6x. Now we're going to take that product, multiply it by 2, which will give us 12x, and that matches the middle term, so we're good to go. So once we have that check done, we're going to draw our two sets of parentheses. The first terms will be the square root of your first term. The second terms will be the square root of that third term. The signs take the sign of the middle. You can also simplify this as x plus 6 squared. And you're done. Second one. 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. Now, you can factor this using that hard product sum that we did yesterday too, or you would take the 4 and multiply it to the back. Or if you notice that you have perfect squares, we run the check, fill in your parentheses. So square root of 4x squared is 2x, square root of 9 is 3, multiply them together, 6x, that by 2, and we get 12x, which is our middle term. So parentheses, square root of your first term goes in the first spaces, square root of your third term goes in the second spaces. The signs are always the same, and it's always whatever that middle term is. And we can simplify to say 2x minus 3 squared. Now, the binomial squares. This is called binomial squares because here there's only 2 terms, where with the trinomials there are 3. Same deal though, we've got 2 perfect squares. Here the sign has to be minus or you can't do it. If it's not a minus, it can't be factored. If you have perfect squares and there's a minus, easy, easy, easy. 2 sets of parentheses, square root of your first term, square root of your last term. Signs are always opposite. One is plus, one is minus. And you're finished. Last one, 9p to the 4th minus 16p squared. Perfect squares, minus in the middle, we're good to go. Draw our parentheses. The square root of 9p to the 4th, square root of 9 is 3. Square root of p to the 4th is p squared. So that's going to go in our first spaces. Square root of 16p squared, square root of 16 is 4. Square root of p squared is p. And this was supposed to be a q, but it's fine, it's all the same. 1 plus, 1 minus, you're finished. You can stop it.